Well, good morning, Evangel Church. This morning I want to read from Through Bacchus Veil by J.C. Philpott, and with a focus on rest. I've noticed sometimes on mornings like this that are cloudy, that are rainy, that sometimes those are the best times to rest because everything else is kind of eliminated around you. Well, we got a lot going on in the world today, a lot of needs, a lot of opportunities. But at the end of the day, you can find yourself weary. And so we need to know where to run, where to rest. And so I want to read this devotion. The verse, again, Hebrews chapter 4, verse 3 says, "For we which have believed do enter rest." To rest is to lean on something, is it not? So it is spiritually. We want to lean on something. The Lord himself has given us this figure. Who is this that cometh up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? The figure of a rock on which the church is built, the foundation which God has laid in Zion, points to the same idea, that of leaning or dependence. Now, when the soul comes to lean upon Jesus and depend wholly and solely on him, it enters into the sweetness of this invitation. Have we not leant upon 1,000 other things? And what have they proved? Broken reeds that have run into our hands and pierced us. Our own strength and resolutions, the world and the church, sinners, saints, friends, enemies, have they not all proved more or less as broken reeds? The more we have leaned upon them, like a man leaning upon a sword, the more have they pierced our souls. Well, the Lord himself has to wean us from the world, from friends, from enemies, from self, in order to bring us to lean upon himself. And every prop he will remove sooner or later, that we may lean wholly and solely upon his person, upon his love, his blood, and his righteousness. But there's another idea in the word rest. It's termination. When we are walking, running, or in any way moving, we're still going forwards. We're still going onwards. We've not come to the termination of our journey. But when we come to the termination that we have been doing, we rest. So it is spiritually. As long as we are engaged in setting up our own righteousness, in laboring under the law, there is no termination of our labors. But when we have come to the glorious person of the Son of God, when we hang upon his atoning blood, dying love, and glorious righteousness, then we feel the sweet, precious, and suitable rest. We which have believed do enter rest, says the apostle. His legal labors are all terminated. His hopes and expectations flow unto and center in Jesus. There they end, and there they terminate. Such a termination as a river finds in the boundless ocean. Well, we long for rest, but there's a rest that comes in only one true source. Everything else will channel us toward that end. Again, like the river heading toward the ocean. There is no final and sure rest apart from Jesus Christ. So it is today. If you find yourself weary, if you find yourself needing rest, look to Jesus. Because in him, you exhale all the effort and inhale all the provision that is in Jesus Christ. As the Spirit fills you with his presence, he is the sure place of rest, and he will never fail you. Well, a couple other things before we conclude this morning. Remember, tomorrow night at Evangel Church, in the atrium, we're going to have a gathering for men, a time of encouragement and prayer. We'll hear a message from Dr. Tony Evans entitled Kingdom Men Calling. I would encourage you to be here. All men of Evangel, come and invite your friends. Invite other men who may be interested. Again, we'll hear the message and we'll spend some time in prayer, and we'll just ask the Lord to give us his grace to be found faithful in this time of great need and opportunity. Well, again, I pray you have a blessed day, and as always, remember, we love you and we miss you.